how we can continue. I will tell you, for the head, when I'm making a head with my shortcuts, with my menus and everything, with my custom menus, which can be done for like less than 40 minutes, I can customize my interface to work like a couple of times faster. I can make a head in ZBrush, a decent head, for less than an hour, and which of course is because I have experience and everything. If you cannot make it, I will go to BSJ for standard brush. If you cannot make it, it's normal, because it takes time, especially in the new software like ZBrush for you. I was learning Blender a couple of months ago, and in the beginning I was like, difficult, because I had to learn the most important thing, the navigation. It's very, very important. And when I get used to the navigation now, Blender starts to look like very nice to me, for me. Blender is not very nice for sculpting in my opinion, because it doesn't support many polygons. It supports up to few million, and then it starts to be like, yeah. ZBrush supports a lot. We can divide this head up to 100 million and it will be kind of okay. So now what we need to do is, with the standard brush, we need to make place for the eyeballs. And where the eyeballs will be, they will be around the middle of the head here. Just make holes and drag, and this is just with standard brush. I also make this. You see here, this is the cheekbone in here, and I'm smoothing. I always smooth, especially in the female character. Smooth is pretty important. So shift, drag to smooth with any brush. Almost any brush, but we'll see. Most of the sculpting brushes are like this. Now, with again with the standard brush, I need to dig a little bit deeper in the near the nose, because you see the nose from the front to the eye, it's pretty big distance. I mean, it's not very small distance, it's pretty big. So we have to do this and then drag down from there with Alt. And then, yeah, sometimes you will see this window that it just blinked now here. This is ZBrush auto-saving. Very, very useful feature. Sometimes ZBrush crashes. It happens, like with every software. But ZBrush is auto-saving every 20 minutes. And most of the time when it crashes, it auto-saves before the crash, which is amazing. I mean, you rarely will lose something with ZBrush with crash. It's just almost impossible to lose your work. Very nice. So now we have this, and we will continue with, again with the standard brush with Alt, and then not with Alt, we just drag here to just the mark where our eyeballs will be. And then we will add a bit of fat here in the upper area above the upper eyelid. Then we will make sure with Alt to get kind of an in shape in here, because we have the cheekbone. And then let's just with standard brush, yeah, we can kind of work with only with standard brush is the best. So with standard brush we can add a bit of a mass in here, just drag, just push, and then smooth, and then push it again, drag it, and smooth, and then we can, with Alt, we can push it, then we can add in here, we can push in here, and you see how we are making kind of something like a nose shape. Of course, you have to know anatomy of the face a little bit, but in my opinion, why I'm making a face now? Because in my opinion, everybody who starts ZBrush wants to make a face, wants to kind of make a human face. It's very, very natural. It comes to us very natural. So that's why I'm making a human face. Of course, female face, for me at least, is a little bit more difficult. Not now, but back in the days it was more difficult, because when I was drawing when I was young, now I'm using little standard brush, just small size. The size is small, and I'm using it to just make sure I have the nose kind of shaped. Then I will go to BMV, the move brush, to shape the nose a bit better from the side view. So when I was young, when I was drawing also a male faces. And then male face was pretty much easy for me. Now with the bracket keys I'm making my brush bigger and dragging and pushing here. And you see how we have the nose. We don't have the mouth yet, but we will have it. Smooth here, smooth around the nose, but don't smooth. You see, I'm smoothing around here, but I'm not smoothing like this. No, I'm just very easily with shift, holding shift and just dragging around this area without smoothing it, the nostrils, for example. And here, we'll do this with a standard brush BSJ in my case. I will drag in here and make this. This is important, by the way, because this is kind of how the shape of the skull is going. And we smooth. We do this, but we smooth. But even if we smooth, it stays like a little bit. So this is one of the most important things in sculpting. For example, if we go to damp standard brush, which is very nice brush, D damp standard. Damp standard brush by default is difference from other brushes. It's not Ziad, it's Z sub by default. So make it Ziad in here, so you can by default add, not sub, and sub with alt. And with alt, damp standard brush is almost like the standard brush, but it's kind of a carving like a knife a little bit. So we can use it for this thing here, just to carve a little bit like this, just to carve here. And we can also carve, let's smooth this because we don't need this to be super huge. We can make holes with the damp standard brush, push with alt a little bit, but dig mostly in the side of the mouth. And then you see how we have the mouth. Of course, we can go to our move brush BMV and make an upper lip just with a small move brush. Just go from here, and then here we can push with the move brush, push it from the side view, make the lower lip, and then push the sides of the lower lip, you know, push this also, push this backward. And you see, with the move brush I can do wonders. Of course, I told you, very important, to be able to rotate the camera around the object, to zoom in and out. This is very important. So now I will go back to my standard brush. So BSJ, standard brush, add a little bit of a kind of a mass in the corner of the mouth. Add this, push this inward, and the mouth became a bit bigger, or the skull is a bit smaller. I will go to BMV, to our move brush. I'll make the move brush bigger, or from here, it will be easier. And then smash this a little bit more, smash this like this, make the mouth a bit smaller, with a little bit smaller brush. You know, you have to adjust the brush so it will fit your needs. You cannot use one side brush all the time. You have to kind of, for example, I want to fix the lower lip now. I need to make my brush smaller, otherwise I will fix a lot of things along the lower lip. And you see how I am always keeping my resolution small, low, very low. The resolution is super low. And until I'm happy with my overall forms, I will not go higher in the resolution. For example, now, if I snap to the front, I see that the head is pretty big in the top area, or the face itself is small. So what we can do? We can increase the face, for example. Let's do it. So mask the face by control dragging inside the object to mask the face. Then we need to smooth the mask. How to smooth the mask? Control click inside the object. So control click, you see, oops, control click, and you see how it's smoothing. Then I will invert the mask, control click again, and now it's kind of smooth. So we can go to our pivot. Make sure our pivot is not here, because if we increase it from here, it will be kind of creepy. So Alt drag the pivot from the side view, put it around the center of the face, and then increase the size of the face like this. And push it a little bit upward. And now with Q, we disable the pivot, we disable our mask, we can smooth here and there, and of course we can make the forehead a bit more pronounced. And you see how now it looks a bit more kind of nice. Of course, always a female or male, it will look strange without eyebrows. So we can go to B, D, S, BDS is down standard brush, and just kind of fix ourselves a little bit of eyebrows, just for the sake of it. And you see, it's kind of more interesting. Now, with the down standard brush, I can push also here, and then smooth the sides of the lower lip. Because the lower lip is more pronounced in the center, and then in the sides, it kind of blends with the lower jaw a little bit. And now I can go and increase the resolution of the Dynamesh to like 100, why not? I can write 100 and then press enter, and then drag the mask with control outside the object to Dynamesh it. And then with the down standard brush I can dig, but I have to make it smaller, not so small. I can dig in here like this, you see, and then I can kind of make the lower lip. By the way, never, not never, but don't kind of make this of the lower lip, this kind of a edge here. No, here in the side it's kind of smooth most of the time. And also BMV to the move brush, and just move this, the lower lip, move it back. The upper lip, I will make my brush smaller and just make the upper lip more round, but not too round. The upper lip is not as round as the lower lip. The lower lip from the side view, from the profile view, is like almost a half sphere. The upper lip is more flat. So you see how this is starting to take nice shape for us. I will make the mouth a bit smaller, smooth it here, make holes with down standard brush, so B, D, S, now standard brush, make those holes here, and then with the standard brush again, down standard brush, again I can make the nose more visible in this area. So I dig the most here in the bottom area of the nostrils, and here in the top I also dig, but then I smooth it a little bit on the top, and here in the bottom I don't smooth it that much. It's more kind of pronounced there. And also with the down standard brush I will make this kind of thing so I can shape a little bit the nose better. And the high polish brush will be useful, so BHP, or click on it and just make this bottom part flat of the nose. You see how it goes? And then we go to BMV, which is the move brush, and you see, so I'm not used to these 3 buttons shortcuts. I don't use them, but you can remember them. I mean, it's not that difficult. So I will fill this. By the way, this on the corner of the mouth, when I'm bulging, is where a lot of muscles kind of go to the mouth, and there is a little bulge in here, almost always. So if we do it, it will be more interesting. And by the way, many people are making this mistake. They are making this corner to the corner of the mouth. It's not like this. You make it around the mouth, like 1 centimeter or 1.5 centimeters away from the corners of the mouth, and then you smooth it a lot. Because you don't want it to be more pronounced, especially when you're doing a young, attractive female, for example, or girl. You cannot do it like this. So BMV for move brush. I want to shape a little bit the bottom jaw. Yeah, the jaw, by the way, don't make it very thick. It's a female, make it kind of gentle, nice. Also here, we can increase this. With the move brush I'm working now, I'm just moving here and there. Yeah, this course, by the way, is not exactly for face anatomy, of course, it's not. But face anatomy for a character artist, and most of you probably, if you're learning ZBrush, you kind of want to learn ZBrush, probably you want to be a character artist. It's very important. Face anatomy and torso and anatomy as a whole is pretty important. So this is our face. By the way, don't neglect the ears. Let's go to our standard brush, so BSJ in our case. In your case, maybe it's different, I told you. And we will make a little bit with Alt. We will dig. We'll go here, make it smaller, the brush, because we're working closely. And just kind of go and make the shape of the ear. And what is the shape of the ear? You can always go to Google and find references for the ear. It's pretty easy and it's pretty useful, by the way. Also, a very kind of common mistake for the beginners is to not make the ear. Just to make something there and just leave it. You have to kind of make it like I did here. So BMV for move brush, and we kind of do it like this. Okay. All right. So now this is our character. No, this is kind of a normal female face that I have imagined. I'm not looking at references now because I have made maybe hundreds of this from Sphere in my career, so I kind of know what I'm doing. If you don't know, and probably you won't know, it's not easy. It may seem easy, but it's not in the beginning. So you have to go and find references and try to replicate the references. In our case, this took less than 40 minutes to make, with explanation and everything. For you, it may take 4 hours, but it's normal in the beginning, so don't just kind of, oh no, it takes too much time. No, in the beginning it will be long, but it will be time well spent, because later you will be faster and faster and it will be easier and easier. And yeah. Let's continue in the next video by making the eyeballs. Maybe some hair we'll make. And I will explain on the way. Let's go to BH, high polish brush. I will explain on the way. Yeah, with the high polish brush I very easily sometimes just drag on some areas to make some kind of a, planes, just little kind of planes to make. I like it, but the ears are a little bit high. They have to be, if she's looking straight at us, the ears should be in the level of the nose, like the nose and the ears should be the same level, and the top of the ears should be at the level of the eyes. So the ears should go down. So BMV with a big move brush we can go, but it should be big, and just go down the ears, lower them a little bit. Yeah, make sure your ears are not super big. Sometimes people are making like this. It's no. From the bottom of the nose to the eye, so a little bit even more down they can be, in our case, and smaller. And you see how they're in the bottom side, they're like coming from here and widening. Yeah, but they're different type of ears, of course. I'm just making kind of regular ones. And maybe the top of the head now is a bit too big, so I can go with my big move brush. I make it big and I just drag it down a little bit from the front view, from the side view. I see how it's going. And yeah, we probably need to make the brush bigger and just go ahead and fix this. Also, the nose from the side view is not very nice, so I'll go with my move brush, make it smaller with the bracket keys, and I will make the nose a bit more interesting. And make sure, if we have female character, this should be kind of a nice arch in here. It shouldn't be sharp or something, it should be nice arch like this. And then BSG for standard brush, or J, or G, I'm not sure, J, yeah, it's J. I'm almost certain that the key is J. But I'm kind of happy with the beginning of this head. I will show you how to make ears, I will show you how eyes, I will show you how to polypaint them, how to draw into your object with color in ZBrush. I will show you a few more things in the next video, and then we'll customize the interface so we can work faster, and we will start with our character. Very nice. So until the next video. By the way, guys, something very, very important. When you open your ZTL file, just by double clicking on it, you have saved it from Tool, Save As, you have saved your file. Then you open it and double click, and then it's you start to drag on your canvas, and this happens. You see, and you see what you say. What could I do? Yeah, first thing, you remove this light box. So you click on the light box here, or just press the comma key on the keyboard, or press the light box. Yeah, show and yeah, and then you continue. And what's happening? You have to go to edit mode, because you're now on draw mode. We never want to be on draw mode. We want to be on edit mode. So you have to just press T on your keyboard, or go here in this little icon, edit. Press it, and now still we have our model. It's here, yes. We can do something with it, but still we have all those heads around it, all those kind of models. What we can do? Control N will clear your canvas. Control N. And now you can start working. Of course, I will go and press my basic material, or change it from here, basic material, and continue working on this. Yeah, see you in the next video again.